what's happening in India to what's happening in the United States, because it is extremely worrying to see the Delta variant causing a huge surge in infections in the US. 1.33 lakh new COVID cases in the last 24 hours. The Delta variant is also leading to breakthrough infections, which potentially means that the US, which has an overall vaccination rate of 50%, which means 50% of the United States population is fully vaccinated, yet in 6 states, breakthrough infections account for 18 to 28% of cases in the recent weeks. Is this perhaps the reason why the United States is now looking to expedite booster shots? I mean, look at that graphic up on your screens. The US has 50% of its population, which is double vaccinated, fully vaccinated. Compare that to India, it's only 8.8%. Yet, the US is seeing a huge surge in cases and a worrying rise in reinfections as well. Dr. Nishchay Mishra, Assistant Professor Epidemiology at the Columbia University Medical Center, joins us. Thanks very much, Dr. Mishra, for speaking with NDTV. How are you looking at the impact of the Delta strain on the US numbers going forward?
So I don't think that it's just main reason is Delta itself. Yeah, of course, Delta is not as the vaccines which we are using, they are not as efficacious to the Delta variant in compared to what they were with the original virus strain. But like the breakthrough infections are increasing at this moment because many people who have taken the vaccine in early January or February, they have like the waning antibodies, not only against the Delta variant, against all the variants, even the original strain. And since their efficacy is little weaker against the Delta variant, that's why we are seeing the more and more breakthrough infections, not only in America, around the world. But since Americans mostly they have taken the mRNA-based vaccines and Pfizer and Moderna,
yes,
they're still showing very good protection against the serious illness or hospitalization.
But you are acknowledging, doctor, that there is a rise in breakthrough infections. Does that mean that vaccine immunity is waning? And do you think that vaccines need to therefore be tweaked to respond to new emerging strains?
In the nature, there is no herd immunity against the respiratory viruses.
Okay.
They always keep coming. It's not like we get protected for always. Only one thing, like the measles is the virus, which give us lifetime immunity, but that virus goes to the bloodstream. Most of these viruses doesn't go to the bloodstream. That means not non-viremic phase. So we get the respiratory illness. Then virus also evolving with us all the time. So the variant what we see today, if we develop a new vaccine that is more effective to the Delta, Alpha, Gamma, Beta, Lambda, in the future there will be something new. These vaccines will not be as efficacious to that. That's what happened in many years in the influenza. So influenza, you see like a flu season comes in, every year different kind of cocktails has to be given. And that depends on the geographical location, that depends on the community, that depends on the country.
Well, that's very interesting, because I mean, obviously there is a lot of onus on people to follow COVID appropriate behavior. The previous doctors on the show also reiterated that. But what about booster shots for the immunocompromised in the US? Now, is this a response to the surge of the Delta variant? And how do you look at this whole argument of some countries like the United States planning to give booster shots to their population versus some countries still scrambling for, even one shot of the vaccine?
The thing is, like the booster shot for the immunocompromised patients is that's very, very important.
Okay.
I personally work on that field, like the looking for immunity in the immunocompromised patient, and then the severity of illness in those patients. So in compared to like healthy population, where they got vaccinated, and they develop like good amount of antibodies after first dose. I'm talking about Pfizer and Moderna, not other vaccines. The only 17% immunocompromised patient can develop the antibodies, and they once they get the infected or they get the reinfected, their illness severity is very high. So for them, there shouldn't be any question if they need to get a booster shot or not. Talking about booster shot for rest of community, think about it. If the vaccine is not effective after 6, 8, 10 months, after the second dose with the circulating variants. So I will consider these new population or new cohort is a non-vaccinated individuals.
Right. Well, that's an interesting way to look at it. Thanks very much, Doctor, for joining us with all those updates from the US.